Voicemails. Hold on. Voicemails. On a Wednesday, voicemails. You and I together, and we're all listening on a Wednesday, whenever you're listening to it. All right, guys. What's going on? I am Joe's McFly here, joined by BBD and Alex Scrap in the Grappler's Corner. Guys, this is the show that is run by you, for you, and with you. 908-845-5792.
Nailed it.
The number's right there on the screen. I'm acting like I didn't read it. Guys, we're here today, and I don't even have my headphones on, so I can't even listen.
Yet. It's a voicemail show. You call, leave us a message, a thought, a question, whatever. We listen to it. We respond to it. And that's kind of the idea of the show. You can listen to it whenever you want.
Yes. Yankees are good, so don't complain. Or if you do complain, then it better be good, because I'm going to call you out. Simple as that. All right. I'm ready. If you're ready, we're ready.
I think we're ready.
All right.
First caller is here to give us his outside perspective on the Yankees.
What's up, guys? Andrew, Southern California here. Lifelong Dodger fan, and it's been a lot of fun watching Dodger baseball for a long time. I mean, we've had our disappointments, obviously, but in general, being a Dodger fan has been a blast. It's been a ton of fun. And from the outside looking in, it seems the Yankees fans, you guys have always tortured yourselves for years unnecessarily. But this year, I think that's changed. It seems like you guys are actually enjoying baseball again, which I think is super cool, and it's fun to watch. Love you guys.
Thank you. I think a big part of that has to do with last year and having a young phenom like Juan Soto and having a lot of the pieces that were brought in work out, and having the pitching staff actually elevate their game to like a place where it's like, oh, yeah, we're missing Cole, but you know what? We're fine. And the record is good, and it's us and the Orioles right now. I mean, the Red Sox are there, but it's us and the Orioles for the most part. And I think everything is kind of good with the way that things – this is what a good start does, man. It's hard not to enjoy a good start.
They've been good. It has been more fun. They have new guys to check out this year that,
right.
Recorded the way in. We're getting now like you're really used to seeing these guys every day, but having new faces and a new roster construction adds to some early season fun, and obviously their record is good and feels more sustainable than even that like 2022 year where sneaky like back 2/3 of that year the team sort of didn't hit.
Right.
But yeah, it's been really good.
There's been different heroes, and it looks like Gleyber's coming out of it. Had a multi-hit game yesterday, had the homer the other night, and I hope he is coming out on the other end, because I don't want to see him go all sad, bro. I don't want to see him go all sad. And it was looking pretty sad.
I don't want to see him sad at all.
Yeah, I don't want to see him go out sad, like going out sorry. Like, that's bad, bro. I don't want him to be that way. So that's good. And Judge is back to being Judge, and the fact that the Yankees were doing it without Judge versus that's like the difference between that 2022 year, because Yankees wouldn't have been able to do it without Judge. This team, for the most part, has done it without Judge in the sense of like he hasn't performed up to his MVP caliber level. Yes.
He's been so much better of recent,
yes.
and it still hasn't felt like the best version of Aaron Judge that we've seen. Like it's a reasonably hot version. And even with that just little push,
yes.
The numbers look so much closer to what we've come to expect from him. So it's
he heats up with the weather, right? We could say that. That's fair.
He'll heat up with the weather.
I don't know where that pitch came from. Sorry.
I've never heard that out of you before.
I just turned into a cartoon character.
Judge leads baseball in walks.
Yes, that's great.
That's cool.
Giancarlo looks good too.
Giancarlo looks good too.
Thank you for the voicemail. I appreciate that, especially from West Coast. Hope to see you in the World Series, my friend.
I hope you keep seeing us have fun.
Yes, that would be awesome. Who else we got?
Next caller wants to discuss a Yankee who's been getting some more run of late, but is wondering how long he's going to stick around.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Ethan calling from Columbus, Ohio.
Hi, Ethan.
Just was wondering what your guys' thoughts were on Jamhai Jones still having a roster spot. This is about a week old, I'd say, this ask, because come a week ago he hadn't homered yet, and we weren't loving him after he got hit by a pitch. Just think there's, other options. Wondering if he's just going to get cut for Oswald Peraza when he's ready to come back up. His home run swing did look pretty similar to Peraza's swing path, though, so funny to see how they're pretty similar. Just thoughts on what you guys think Jamhai Jones' future is come 2 weeks from now.
Well,
yeah, I mean, he's had one of the more bizarre usages. We did a mini deep dive just trying to see if we could think of anybody who's played as little as he's played as a Yankee. He's only gotten into 11 games. Only 2 of those are starts. And, we're talking about approaching 2 full months of action. Like there's basically been nobody who was like this. Like Marwin had a couple times where we went like 10 days without seeing him. Right. We'd see him every day for 10 days. Yeah, I mean, he is right now the easy DFA when Peraza or DJ or whoever's back first is ready. I don't think the Yankees thought it would take this long, but he must be an amazing vibes guy. And the team did seem very happy for him with that homer.
Apparently
it does seem like his future is be DFA'd when one or both of those guys are back, unless something happens between now and then, which baseball can happen.
Is he Torres?
He might be a little Torres.
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what you said.
10 plate appearances.
It's tough. He'll probably get DFA'd. I think I was talking to Jake yesterday about what players would get DFA'd. And like
just what the current chopping
just
block
people coming
is.
back, like Canely, and I thought immediately Talkin. When I thought,
he's on the board.
I thought DJ, and then I thought, okay, well, if DJ comes back, then it's probably going to be either Jones or, and then what do you do with Peraza? And, you have options with Peraza, though, if you want to put him in the minors, but it's up to you. Really.
Peraza can be just sent down.
Yes.
It's
you do need a backup shortstop on the team.
A real backup shortstop would be cool. In theory, Birdie can do that. He hasn't played any shortstop yet.
Right.
But he is a classically trained shortstop. The Yankees haven't played him anywhere but first base or third base. He hasn't played first. He's only played third base so far. But yeah, Jamhai, Talkin, they're kind of the top of the list as far as DFA candidates. The other,
who else would be there?
The guys we're thinking of on the IL are Canely, who's not being DFA'd. They need him, and a lot of the other guys are already 60-dayed, so they're not taking up a 40-man spot. Then you get into some prospects who are on the 40-man, like Yogo. I don't think they DFA him. Some relievers that Jake Cousins could be DFA'd fairly easily. I guess he's up on the list. They have Colby White, who they got off the Rays waivers, who I'd imagine would be pretty high on the list. So they have
there's some
like
options.
4 easy ones.
Or Castle trade. Like anything, something could happen for international, like bonus pool money or something. Like anything like that could happen. So
yeah, they do have a small collection right now of easily DFAable options, presumably easy, especially in the minor league. So for these guys that will require a 40-man spot, at least that would be easy to pull off. We'll see about major league spots.
Okay. Cool.
Ron's already down. But yeah, no. they're in a fine spot there as far as what their flexibility is. You okay?
Thanks for the call. I was looking for this thing. I can't find it.
You dropped a thing.
It's the charger part.
Sure.
On my phone. Oh well, that's fine.
It's probably over there.
I won't be able to do like any research. My phone does.
Phone's dead.
It's not dead, but it's dying.
You got all the answers right up here, right in the dome.
Good amount of them.
Next caller is talking about a guy that we actually were just talking about before we started recording.
Okay.
Hey guys, my name is Michael, calling from Atlanta, Bronx native, Armed Forces, huge fan of John Boy Media and you guys. Love everything you're doing. My question or statement is concerning Clay Holmes. He's been super dominant this year, has 18 innings pitched, 0 ERA, and I wonder when do we really give him the credit he deserves? Correction. I see some closers have like their entrance music. When do we give Clay Holmes that prestigious role and the fame behind it? Give him an entrance song. Let the crowd go electric. I think everyone will love it. Jake sucks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the voicemail. Appreciate that. I don't know if Holmes, he does have a song like when he pitches and warms up.
Yeah, I was in the process of looking it up. Like he has some song they play when he comes in. It's obviously not one that creates like a moment. I don't know if he'll ever get like to the point where, especially if he continues to roll with White Horse by Chris Stapleton, without him being signed long term, I don't know if the Yankees are going to waste their time turning it into like a thing,
right?
Like an Edwin or what was the other one that Yohan Duran? His is cool now. So I just don't know if that's in the cards for him unless he signs long term, and then maybe.
I think that's part of it as well,
But free agent after this year.
Yeah, so probably no song for now.
I don't think it's gonna be the type of thing that like becomes part of the broadcast. No.
The weird thing is that the Yankees could like do like some other move and acquire another closer kind of thing. If they wanted to do that, pen-wise.
As good as Clay's been, and some people will never view him as like a closer like that. I kind of do, but some people won't. But I think even the people who do like I do are fine with it if we get somebody who's more suited for that and Clay is bumped down a peg or doesn't have to be that guy. Be
more options is good, but you always want a closer.
More. You always need more. But Clay's doing a great job.
Phenomenal job.
Great job.
That kind of leads perfectly right into our next caller, who's talking closer acquisitions.
What's up, guys? Brett from Upstate New York here. Love what you guys are doing with the show.
That's good.
My question for y'all this week is, what is maybe an unexpected move the Yankees could do at the deadline? Mine would be Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. He's in the last year of his contract. He's not making much money, and if the Cardinals aren't in it, I would think he'd be someone they're selling at the deadline. And bonus question, if you guys were closers, what would your walkout song be? Thanks.
I thought that Ryan, and just because we spoke about him, and he's killing right now. He's 1.35.
He's been awesome. The Cardinals only have 18 wins. He has gotten a save in 13 of them. He would be right at the top of my list if the Cardinals are still in this position come
so many
July.
People would like him.
He'd be towards the top of my list of deadline targets because he can be your new best reliever. He has some strikeout stuff.
He had 2 years left. Like one.
He's a year and a half, I think.
Year and a half, right? Yeah.
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 So you'd be getting a year and a half of them. They'd be getting their kind of max value out of a reliever, which is huge. He's striking out over a batter an inning. His walks are down this year too. He's walking less than one batter per 9. But he hasn't been a crazy excessive walk guy, but he's in the past walk. This is an outlier for sure, but he's been awesome. He like I'm saying, right at the top of my list of deadline wants in the bullpen because you'd have a year and a half of him. You have we just mentioned Clay potentially leaving after this year. Loizaga is a free agent after this year. Canely. They've got room long term and for this season. There's room for guys in that bullpen.
What's your walk up?
Helsley not a beard guy, so
okay.
That's not going to be a problem. There's some guys who I'd be worried about them coming over as the closer and having to ditch a beard. You have a go-to answer for the closer walk-in song?
Yes. Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Oh, that is a good one. I'd like that.
Kind of like the start of this voicemail app.
Whoa. Kind of like the start of this voicemail app. I'm bad at the walk-up song stuff because I'm like, I feel like I am a guy who would change it a lot. But if you're a closer, you want one that's like pretty consistent and like
something
powerful.
You can play constantly.
Like and like you kind of want a certain vibe to it. And I don't know if I've got one off the top of my head. In the past, I would have at least been able to narrow it down to like I'd find a Kanye song that works, but I don't know if I can be picking that anymore.
Why not?
It's been a complicated couple years for me in that guy. But like was a favorite for me. So I don't know. That doesn't answer the question for them, but generally that genre is where I'd be aiming.
Okay.
But I'm somebody that I think would change it up a lot.
Okay. All right. I see that. Eminem Till I Collapse will just...
Yeah.
That'll be a song that'll get me hyped. That's, good workout song, all that stuff. So, yes. And I think it'll get the crowd hyped, too.
Good warm-up song.
Yes. I like that.
We can work on getting the license for this show for Till I Collapse.
I like
Right.
that.
I'm sure that'll be easy.
Yeah, and cheap.
Yeah. We've got a budget.
All right, next caller. Talking about remember like was it last year, maybe 2 years ago? Yankees started stealing all those bases.
Yes, I think it was last year. No, it was last year.
There's definitely a period in 21 where they started swiping a ton. But yeah, swiping bags.
He's wondering where that went.
What's going on, guys? I'm watching the game against the Astros, and I'm frustrated to see Volpe not even trying to steal. And I feel like that's part of the problem, having him lead off. So what are your thoughts on that? All right. Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, and that was like part of my, I don't want to say fear, but like
hesitance.
Yeah, so putting him at leadoff, is it going to take away from his base running aggressiveness? Because you don't want to take away an at bat from somebody, or with somebody. You don't want to take away an at bat for Soto with somebody on base, and with Judge with somebody on base. Same thing with everybody else down the line, Verdugo and all of that stuff. So I was afraid, is it going to take away from his aggressiveness? So I think it's about picking your spot because, Ricky Henderson didn't care. He would just steal. He didn't care who the hell was batting behind him. I'm on first, and I'm a double. So that's basically how he has to think, I think.
I do wish he'd go for some more. That was a big part of or it was a big side effect of moving him to lead off, because now,
right,
if you do get on, there's a little bit, because Volpe speed is good for sure, like fastest starter on the team, but like not special. He's not an automatic to make it in my head. So it's like, well, risk getting out for Judge or Soto. I'd rather you be able to get first to third on their single, or like score from first on a double, or if you got a double, like hold it there and be able to score on whatever, or they might just homer. That's another reason why I liked him more towards the bottom, because you can you can have him go like figure out how to wreak some havoc, and then in the future, when Soto's obviously locked up long term, and Volpe eventually settles in as a prominent leadoff hitter, he's built up this resume as a good stealer and can run a little wild up there.
Is it me, or does he like hop back to first base before he steals? And it's like
he does a lot of hopping. either
And it's
way,
fine. It's just, I feel like,
it's mostly worked.
doesn't it cut him short from hopping back to first before he goes? Doesn't it cut?
You would.
Doesn't
It goes against a lot of what our instincts would be, right?
It would be to hop forward, no? Like,
you would think more of them would be like he gets like a secondary and goes. Yeah, the Yankees have been a little devoid of speed, to say the least.
Right.
So having a guy that like it, we reasonably expect to steal. I think we expect just more than what he really should do anyway, just as a baseline, like similar to. I remember I used to like my dad and I would go back and forth about Gardner a lot because my dad would be like, "Why doesn't he steal more?" It's like, well, Gardner, I think probably baseline speed actually faster than Volpe in my head, but like again, in front of Aaron Judge and other guys, maybe I'm wrong on the pure speed. Anyway, like ahead of Judge and like a lot of other like good hitters most of that time. So it was like, why risk that? Because Gardy, I think, had like one big steal year and then sort of never really went again.
I think when it was him and Ellsbury up top, I think one of those years that they were going off like running, but
yeah, like 13, 14, 15, he got 20 bags 3 years in a row. That was cool. I imagine that was him and Ellsbury doing a lot of stuff. But then 18, 19, 20, 21. Now Gardner was also getting old. Like a little bit like what's worth it and will keep you on the field. And picking spots. I trusted Gardner to pick his spots with that a lot. And maybe Volpe gets there. It seems to be there, I guess.
The thing with stealing, guys, and I think the people that like really steal at a super high clip, you gotta like really weigh out the percentages of like, hey, if he makes it to second versus getting caught, let's just say he gets caught, and now the percentage of actually scoring a run that inning goes down. Obviously, if he gets caught, it goes up if he doesn't. But like, you'd have to weigh that and see if the person batting with Judge at first is, the person with. If Volpe is better being at first with Judge batting, is that more productive than having him like trying to steal second or whatever, and then maybe them pitching around Judge and then getting to first? Or I guess you can't really do that with Soto there or whatnot, but.
And I guess the beauty of having a better lineup is like, okay, well, if you want to walk Judge or Soto or whatever, fine. Right. Because then that's just two guys on for another good hitter. So you need to have a lineup that also matches that.
Yeah.
Like Acuna last year is one of, I feel like, I can be really wrong, but just anecdotally feels like one of the first guys in a while that was like good team and like stole at that kind of rate.
Right.
But that was a special lineup where like 1 through 9 would do like big time damage to you.
Right.
So there wasn't as big a risk factor if they decided to just walk the guy behind him now that first is open or whatever. Or if he gets out, like, okay, these guys are still good. I don't know. That team didn't have trouble scoring runs if he did get thrown out, where it feels like currently, and Volpe's getting hot again, he doesn't get on base enough for us to be as willing to potentially throw away those opportunities as I think some people want.
Okay.
When Volpe, I think, becomes a better hitter and is on base more, we'll see more. Because there's,
just run.
They have the chances.
Just try and run.
I like to see a little more for sure. Let's try getting a little
happy
more.
Happy medium.
All right. Next caller has a suggestion for how we should arrange the outfield.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Cruz. I'm 9 years old. And I think Jake thinks that blitzball. And I think I want to talk about what they're going to do with the Martian. I think Judge should play first so Dominguez can play center field. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the call. You're Noah's age. So Appreciate you being in tune. Now, Judge is a very good defender, so I don't think that they're going to put him at first. I think that if we stay with the same outfield that we have right now, it'll probably stay that way. And I don't think that Jason Dominguez, when he's off his rehab, is a foregone conclusion of, hey, we're just going to put you up to the big leagues. Right? They don't necessarily have to. He doesn't have that many big league. He doesn't have that many AAA at bats, and they could just take that as an opportunity. If everybody is still good, I'm saying,
yeah,
because right now it's not fair for Judge to lose at bats. Rizzo's not horrible.
Rizzo's been fine, and he provides balance. Now you'd be if you're subbing some of his opportunities out for Dominguez.
You're not taking out Soto.
Soto's playing.
And the only way that you would be able to free those guys up and having Jason at center field would be to have one of those three guys play DH. And to do that, that means you're benching Giancarlo. And honestly, the economics of it doesn't. He's performing well enough where you're not saying, hey, I'm willing to eat the money of him being on the bench. Mm-hmm. Versus him producing, he's actually producing. And Verdugo's awesome. Yeah,
Verdugo's been awesome. Now, if something happens, any of those guys get hurt, there's time to figure it out. But we've talked about it a few times on this program. There's a very real chance they just, when Dominguez's rehab is done, just option him.
AAA.
And while it's not what I want to see, because I want to watch him, he was very fun.
Of course.
And nobody wants that, but him just sitting on the MLB bench is
I don't like that.
Worthwhile.
I'd
rather him get the AAA at bats he didn't
play
get
every
last
day.
year.
That's a young kid that needs to play every day. A year after an injury, give him as many at bats as possible, babes. And I want to have the kid out there and running and not even thinking about his elbow when he throws or anything like that. And go ahead, put Jason Dominguez in AAA if you have to. If there's an injury, you bring him up. And no matter what, he's a September call-up.
Yeah, he's an option in September. The second there's any IL stint for anybody in that outfield,
assuming he's playing well,
assuming he's playing well,
yes.
But still, at this time, he has played 9 AAA games. He was awesome in the 8 MLB games we got to see. He deserves to be able to go straight to that. But this Yankees roster also deserves to play, and they've been good, and
they've
the team
earned a chance.
Is going for it.
Right.
Let's see what happens when at some point somebody will go down or have to miss time, or there'll be an opportunity. I don't think there's any chance we don't see Jason Dominguez in the big leagues at all this year. I think that it has no chance of happening.
We'll see him up here,
but it could take a little bit. I think they will milk this rehab. They have, I want to say 20 days. They might be able to double it up.
I think they double it because it's Tommy John.
I know you can extend it beyond the limits, or at least old CBA you could. Maybe that's different now. You can, in the past, you've been able to extend it for big injuries like that. If a pitcher's coming back from Tommy John or something, they might want the extra rehabs that could happen with Cole. If they're trying to fully build him up and want him to be able to go 6 innings the day he comes back. I don't know. We'll that's a different conversation, but they might extend it. And it's very possible they just option him at the end and let him just stay in AAA and play every day and rake. There aren't a ton of prospects in the AAA outfield right now. It's currently a lot of vets, which is a good and bad thing, but there's nobody else there that there's any reason Dominguez playing would be a problem.
How old is Dominguez? 21?
I think he's 21. He's so young. He turned 21 in February. So the fact he has 9 AAA.
Him and Soto are so close in age.
They're sneaky so close in age. 4 years apart. He's Soto.
You don't
is closer in age to Dominguez than Judge.
Yes.
by like a little bit, and I want to say about the same. Verdugo's closer.
Yankees have to sign Soto long term.
Today's Verdugo's 28th birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Alex Verdugo. So that would make him like 3 years older than Soto.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes him closer in age than Dominguez is. So my point's ruined a little bit. But Dominguez is going to like Soto and vice versa.
Need that.
They'll be friends.
Need more of that.
Like you said, we've got to re-sign him. You got to figure out how we're going to get it done.
Yes.
Hey guys, big fan of the show. I just want to know what you guys think is the most probable way that we're going to be able to re-sign Juan Soto. I love the dude, but we have a lot of expensive pieces, and I just don't know how we're going to make it work. Other teams are going to offer him a ton of money. Let me know what you guys think and what the best move for the Yankees is going to be.
Well, I want you to think right now. What teams can offer Juan Soto the Yankee money? The Mets. I don't know if the Dodgers are playing in that money. They may, but like...
I'll assume they could.
Who else?
There's not a ton of teams that like for sure
Toronto
should be messing around. Toronto keeps trying to tell us they got money and they want us. They're going to sign guys.
San Fran. Like I'm just. That's what I think about. I feel like the only reason the Yankees won't sign Juan Soto is if the Yankees don't want to sign Juan Soto, which is.
There's no reason to not want to. I don't understand how there could be a price point that they're like not cool with.
You can tell he loves it.
He's 25. He clearly likes it here. He's thriving here. He'll have proven he can do it in New York.
Right.
He already has to an extent. I think it's only going to get better from here. How they're going to get it done is they offer him the most money.
Yes. Now, you could talk about, the Mets could get him. I don't know about me, and I stand to be corrected. I have yet to see a player go from the Yankees and willingly just straight up just go to the Mets like that. I just haven't seen that.
Straight up like having the choice.
Yes. Carlos Beltran wanted to be a Yankee when he was a free agent and then decided Mets. Like I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen the Yankees and Mets go for the same guy.
That doesn't happen often, right? But
like
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
But he went Dodgers.
The same guy,
but even
he didn't pick either.
Right. Even in the Yamamoto thing, Cashman said that we were
Cashman told
second,
us he was told they were second.
Which means the Mets with the highest offer of all of them was third. What does that tell you? That says a lot. So, he loves it here. Everything's going well so far. If it continues to go well, it's going to get to the point where if he wins the World Series, he's going to want to stay here. If he doesn't win the World Series, he's going to feel like it's unfinished business. It's the marriage is there. It's just the numbers got to work, Pop. Like nobody wants to go to San Francisco. The Dodgers maybe, but he just feels like an East Coast kind of guy, bro. Like he tried the West Coast.
He was out there already.
It just seems like he's the East Coast kind of guy. I'm not saying that it's like his Yankees or nothing. Obviously not. There's going to be competition, but the Yankees have a lot of things going their way when it comes to signing Soto. And they could do it. Sell some freaking chicken buckets. Figure it out.
It's hard to imagine a scenario where this ends as either Soto didn't want to be here, didn't give the Yankees like opportunity to match, or they did match and he picked another team's offer.
Right.
Or Yankees drop out. I mean, I guess we'll see how this year goes and where we're at the time, but I have to imagine the Yankees will be very, very motivated to keep him.
I said, Soto, I want you to become indispensable to the Yankees. This is prior to the year starting. I said, I want Soto to have one of the best free agent walk years of all time, similar to Judge. I don't know if it's there yet. It might be, but I want him to prove that he can play in New York as a young kid as well. And to me, he's doing it so far. And if he could do it for the whole year, man, those guys are not easy to find. Those are guys you spend the money on. Spend the money on them if you can be able to do it, because we've seen so many guys come here, BBD, that they have this pedigree to their name, and bro, they just don't perform because they don't know how to handle New York. If he handles New York, he could be able to do it, and he plays well. Hey, you know what? Give him the money. It's very simple. It's a very simple thing. And I think the Yankees look at it like that too.
It feels pretty simple to me. I mean, they don't. I'm trying to think of the secret to the Yankees and always having these big contracts is there's always some money coming off the books. If they're really that strapped, they can not pick up that Rizzo option. They can maybe find a taker for DJ. That would clear some money. Like Gleyber's coming off the books. There's money coming off the books. Eventually, there'll be a point after this year. It'll be 3 more years of Stanton. The lights at the end of the tunnel.
Even when
on that.
Giancarlo Stanton comes off the books, he'll still be in his prime.
That back half of the Soto deal, you don't have to worry about like any of these dudes besides the Judge money. Like that's the only long
What about
term.
Cole? Would Cole be there?
Cole would be there. Cole and Rodon are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. So those are worth considering and are taking up some of the books. Cole has funky opt-out stuff after this year. Ultimately, he will be here that amount of time, perhaps more. Like Stroman's not making crazy money. That Gleyber money coming off the books. Some of their more expensive bullpen guys are coming off the books. It all adds up. That I think, like I just can't see money being an excuse. For,
right, it's got to be something else.
I just don't. I don't see a way that the money doesn't work.
Right,
because he's 25 and the best ever. And you've had him now.
I don't think that's something for us to worry about until the off season, and then we'll start to see where it shakes out.
Yeah, I'm honestly like not even thinking about. I haven't thought once since the season started about like what if this is the last year?
Yeah, not yet.
If it feels like
we have business.
Maybe I'll have some moments in August when it's a little slower. Deadline's done. Maybe we're more solidly in a playoff spot, and I'll think a little bit of big picture stuff and have some back of my head like, let's enjoy Soto,
right?
Just in case. But even then, it's just in case because I'm trying to tell myself like 10% chance he doesn't come back.
How many homers does he have this year again?
9's the number in my head. Is that right? 9.
Judge has what, 10?
Judge has 10.
Okay. All right. That's it.
They're good. So Judge is on a 40 homer pace.
Yeah.
What a sicko.
He's just a late bloomer.
All right, our last one to take us home is one of those solutions, possibly, for signing Soto.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, my name's Andre. I'm from Connecticut. Went to 12 Yankee games in 22. Saw Judge hit 60. But here's the thing. If the Athletics are willing to part with Mason Miller, but it means that we have to get rid of Gleyber, is that worth kind of not ruining, but kind of affecting the chemistry between Soto and the clubhouse and everything? Is that worth it to trade Gleyber for Miller or for another piece? Do you think so? Yes or no? That's my question. Thanks.
My friend, if the trade is there for Mason Miller and you're getting 5.5 years of Mason Miller and you're just trading Gleyber, you take that trade every day.
Yeah, Oakland just has no.
That's not the trade.
That.
Like that's not. Those are not trades that's not a trade that would happen because Oakland has zero use for Gleyber Torres. Now and going into the future, it's just that what would they need a person that's going to become a free agent for? The person I was thinking about, like Gleyber wise, it all depends on what happens with DJ. This is an interesting conversation, whether you do it or not. And I'm not advocating for it. because I like Gleyber Torres, and he's actually, he's a
I like
buddy of mine.
Gleyber, I believe he'll come around this year. But
would you trade two people that are struggling this year for each other? Would you trade, I don't know, Gleyber Torres for a Alex Bregman?
Mm-hmm.
Both free agents.
Just
would you do that?
The deck.
That would be interesting. I don't know if it would. That would be interesting. In terms of Miller.
There's a little bit of I don't know why either team would do that, but
right.
I don't know why either team wouldn't do that.
Right. If you're both you know what I mean? It's kind of it's a handshake deal. I hope he figures it out with you.
Astros are covered at second, I guess.
Right. Astros are covered at second.
It
depends on how you do it. I don't know how maybe they make Gleyber play third.
I've been doing some around the office, and I think a little bit on a Talkin Yanks episode. Why did Gleyber at third never happen?
They never tried it.
Gleyber, they did it at AAA, 2017. It's been a long time.
Right.
But Gleyber, having watched him play second and short, he seems like he would be a good third baseman.
He could probably do it.
His hands are good. At third base, you don't have time to think and get in your own head. That's when Gleyber, things pop up, or when he has too much time to think of the possibilities.
And he might end up becoming a third baseman down in the future.
Gleyber's instincts are really strong. His instincts and pure abilities are good, and I think his arm strength, I'm going to confirm on Sackers, I think rates pretty well. Doesn't rate out well this year. I think in the past it maybe has. I could be wrong. I could be so wrong. It was bad last year. 22 was bad. Okay. His arm strength doesn't rate out great. 2021 it rated well. I think he's playing shortstop then. So in the past it rated well. I wasn't making that up. But he seems like I feel like third base he'd be fine. Maybe the arm's a little weak for there, but it's a little weak there for DJ.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just kind of throwing something.
Just why'd that never happen.
But but in terms of Miller, for you to get somebody like Miller with his ability and the way things are going, you would have to pay what would be considered a king's ransom for a reliever.
But what's ultimately a reliever who I don't
I'm not saying
anyone believes in starting long term.
Right. And so for a guy that's going to close, I'm not saying he's not worth it and whatnot, wouldn't help out the pen, but Oakland, to get them to trade him on a year where they have so much control of this guy and they're going to go into new ballparks, starting next year, they're going to want to track something with somebody.
He's still multiple years away from even hitting arbitration, so
there's
not money for them to save.
They're just listening to offers because you don't know who's going to blow you away. And you have to listen.
They'll listen on anybody, I'm sure. I'd be shocked if they have anybody they say is untouchable. They'd have no need for a Gleyber, and there's merits to potentially pursuing a Gleyber trade, whether that's saving a little money for this year, just shuffling the deck if he never really gets it going. There's just not going to be room for him to play, so might as well get him somewhere where he can play and try to reestablish himself before free agency or something. I'm curious what kind of team would be stoked about that and what that trade would be. Mm-hmm. That's something to look into more when we get closer and have a better idea where some teams are at. Because the idea of trading Gleyber isn't crazy. That can certainly happen. I thought there was a good chance it would happen this winter. It never did. Thought there was a good chance it would happen 2 winters ago. It never did. It seems like the Yankees have been open to that. It's an interesting thought process. Him for Miller isn't an option, but there's potential Gleyber trades out there for this year.
That's it. Guys, thank you guys so much for leaving us these voicemails today and talking with us, man. And hopefully we provided a little bit of clarity or just provided some perspective on what we think about some of your voicemails. They were great. All of them were great.
We talked it out.
We did. We talked it out. 908-845-5792. Feel free to leave us some voicemails so that we can listen to it for next week, guys. And I appreciate you guys. PBD, as always, it's been awesome.
Always.
Grab. Make sure you guys, you know what? Type Grap in the chat. Put Grap right there. Just put him Grappler's Corner or something. Put that in the comments. Go ahead and spam that. I want to see that, please.
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe. See you guys later.